And we continue our series on Back to You, which is our stewardship renewal. God has blessed us so much, we return the favor to God, giving back some of our time and our talent and our treasure. I want to give you a little scenario, imperfect that it may be, but just go along with it, please. All right? Whether you like football or not, just imagine what it might be like. And guess what? You're a coach and your team's in the championship game. You're undefeated, and so is your opponent. You're both undefeated. In fact, that's your rivalry. In fact, the game is in overtime, and only one overtime is allowed. You just scored, and there's 2 seconds on the clock, and you trail by 1 point. 1 point. You call a timeout. You gather your players around you. They want to know, what we're going to do, coach? You have a decision to make. You have 2 choices. One, you can go for the extra point, kick it, which is almost a guarantee, which is like a gimme. Seems like a sure thing if you kick. If you do, game will be tied. Game over. It's a tie. Or you can go for 2, which means you can pass it in or run it in. And that usually has like a 50-50 chance of working. And so now the players gather with you. All eyes are on you. Okay, coach, what are we going to do? Are we going to go for the sure thing, go for 1 and end in a tie, still remain undefeated, but having to share the victory with our opponents? Or, coach, are we going to go for it? Because if we make it, guess what? We and we alone are the only one undefeated. We alone are number 1. It's all ours, all the glory. But if we don't make it, we lose. There goes our undefeated season. We fall into second place. And who remembers who's second anyway? And they're looking, okay, coach, what's it going to be? Go for the sure thing, or should we go for the 2 points? And you're the coach. How many would say, go for 2? Take a chance. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. You said, let's go for 2. Hands down. How many said, no, let's play it safe. We'll just go for 1, get the tie, and raise your hand. Yes, of course, right? Because after the game, you go for that 1 point, you say, yay! We tied. Really? That's a lot of fun. Anyway, I think go for 2. Take a chance, risk it, right? What the heck? Even if you don't make it, people say, well, at least you tried. At least you had the guts to go for it. Even that TV show with Let's Make a Deal, right? I mean, there they have this prize. They say, you can keep this prize, or you can have what's behind the curtain. I mean, don't you want them to say, go what's behind the curtain? What if no one did? It'd be a boring show. Come on, go for it. Take a chance, risk it. And even that old TV show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I mean, didn't you want people, when they get closer and closer, to go for the $1 million? Sure we do. We wouldn't do it, of course. We'd keep the money and leave. But anyway, we want someone else to take that risk. I mean, that's what makes the show. That's what makes it interesting. The dare, the challenge, the risk factor. Huh? Go for it. And that's what this gospel's about. It says, Jesus, in telling this parable, says, take a risk. Don't play it safe. Take a risk for God's kingdom. Use your talents for God to help others. Don't sit on and keep it safe. Take a risk. You see, back then when Jesus told this parable, he says about the talents. Now, I know when we hear the word talent, we probably automatically think of someone's ability to do something. Sing, dance, music, an instrument, woodwork, whatever it may be. But that's not what talent meant there at all. Talent was a measure of money only. And so how much was a talent worth? 1 talent would have been approximately as much as a laborer would make in his lifetime. So all those money you would raise in your whole life, that's about a talent before taxes. How's that? All that. So that's a nice sum of money. That's 1 talent. Imagine what 5 talents is. Multiply that by 5, and then you have 2 talents. No, when Jesus told a parable, okay, the listeners were always shocked by what he said. We hear it, we sort of, it's a nice fun story. We like parables. Oh no, when they heard it, what? What did he say? He wants us to do what? Oh no, it disturbed them. Because he went against what the common practice would be. That's what's the problem with this parable? Well, the one that instead of getting criticized, is the one who buried his treasure, right? You worthless, lazy lout. But actually, when they hear this, the one who buried the treasure is the one who did the right thing, at least in their mind. They were taught by their rabbis. That is the recommended thing, to bury your treasure. You see, as long as you buried it, and as long as it was deep enough so that when someone's plowing, they wouldn't find it, you buried it deep enough. And if someone ever did find it and stole it, you're not responsible for it. See? Because you did what you were supposed to do. You buried it deep enough. Now, these other guys got with the 5 talents and 2 talents. Whoa. They're risking. They invested this money. And that's a lot of money. What they did came out nice, but what if they lost it all? Then you're responsible to pay it back. Now, how are you going to pay back 5 times your normal salary? They don't have that money. They say, oops, sorry, the stock market didn't work out as I thought. Oh, God, that's a huge risk. But those ones, he said, this is what you're supposed to do. So they had to, whoa, wait a minute. No. You're supposed to bury it. No. And that's what Jesus tells us. You got to risk, step out, do something. You just can't sit there and do nothing. Do something with your talents that I have given you. Use it to help others, to bless others, to be a blessing. That's what it says. Take a risk. I know I spoke about her before, St. Catherine Drexel, which is the statue way back there in the corner. You want to hear about a risk taker? That's why she always amazes me. She was living, late 1880s, around there, sometime like that, okay? She came from a very, very wealthy family. I'm not talking about 1%, we're talking about the half of 1%. They used to hobnob with the Rockefellers. I mean, they were it. Touring Europe, traveling, living the life. I mean, they had money. Well, when her daddy died, he left her an inheritance. But in her early years, she was struck by the plight of the Native Americans and the African Americans. And she wanted to do something for them. So one of her many travels, she went to Europe, she went to Rome, and she got to see the Pope face to face. I guess when you have money, you get to see the Pope face to face. You're rich, you get in. So they saw the Pope and said, Holy Father, I want you to start an order, a congregation to help the Native Americans, Africans. He said, no, you start one. Oh boy. And so she decided, guess what? I'll start my own religious order. And the Philadelphia paper said, Miss Drexel enters Catholic convent, leaves behind $7 million. That's a lot of money, isn't it? $7 million. But no. $7 million back then, $1 back then is worth 25 back then. So you times 7 times 25, that's $135 million. Would you walk away from that? 100, that's right. I don't think I would either, probably. $135 million. They said, well, what are you going to do? I'm going to start a congregation. Well, really? To do what? We're going to help the Native Americans and African Americans, which at that time were the least people that you wanted help. You're going to spend your money on who? On them? And what if it didn't work? What if she starts this congregation and no one joins? It flops. You just lost $135 million. Oh my gosh, huh? Is that a risk or what? She went for it. God bless her. But don't worry, we're not asking you to take a risk like that. All we're asking you to give back some of your time, your talent, and your treasure. In fact, we have a little video of some of our own members in our parish who give back some of their talent. Let's show a little video, please.
My name is Shirley Eiflander. I've been a parishioner with St. Peter's for over 7 years. My way of giving the stewardship is volunteering my time as much as I can. I volunteer on Monday mornings, the gift shop on Wednesday and Sunday, Friday at the desk, and also help manage the Knots of Love. I was helping out in the gift shop, and the existing manager had to have surgery, So I just sort of fell into being manager, but that was okay because when I came in and looked around, I thought, it needs me. Working in the gift shop gives you an opportunity to talk to many people who come in and tell you their problems or their situations, and they may want something for a friend who has cancer, and so you can tell them this might be of interest, this might be of interest, or they have a baby that's coming and what items to purchase. And that has been a joy to help people out in any way I can.
Currently, I'm involved in St. Peter's ministry of Oktoberfest. I'm the personnel chair. I'm also a teacher here at St. Peter. That's a ministry as well. At St. Peter's, I was asked by a parishioner who said I would have the right disposition to be the personnel chair, or at one of the personnel chairs for Oktoberfest, which involves working with basically all the people at Oktoberfest. So I took that task on. I've met people that I otherwise would have not met through stewardship and ministries, people I see here at church, but I don't necessarily get to bond with them or hear their story, their life story about how they've been involved in church or the years that they've been here.
The more that you give, the more immense love that there is, that you can't go backwards ever again once you go forward, and that you're compelled to keep going forward. I was compelled to go into the woods where a lot of people in Florida that are homeless reside. They sleep on the grounds, they sleep in tents. It's a devastating thing that they're experiencing, and there's a large sense of hopelessness. There's joy when you let go of all those material things and that you're willing to give everything that you do have. One day you know you're going somewhere special based on the special that you're doing here.
I'm Kevin McGehee. I actually had a buddy of mine back in high school he was on the wrestling team with me. And when the Antioch retreat rolled around, he was getting a group of us to go on it. So I went on it, and I found a lot more than I thought I'd find on it. So it's kind of got me into the St. Peter's. And I'm involved in Antioch and CCM that's College Catholic Ministries, and then also FCA, which is the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. There's certainly joys for me. I mean, showing when you see new people come to a church, it's neat because it makes you feel like you're rubbing off on someone. And then when you see the Holy Spirit change them, it's almost like you're doing your job and you're changing somebody's life, which is one of the best feelings in the world.
My name is Mike Ruff, and I'm a secular Franciscan. I've been a parishioner at St. Peter's for 27 years. I think the hardest thing for being a good steward in this parish is to put one's ego aside and be prepared to jump in with both feet and help out wherever we can. My major ministry here right now is I'm the coordinator, facilitator for Ministry of the Sick. It was probably a desperation move by my predecessor who was relocating to West Virginia with his wife. And I had already been in the ministry visiting homebounds, but he asked me to take over the entire ministry. I would invite everyone and anyone, just jump in, both feet. Don't be afraid. Just remember, God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called.
Call me and take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made.
And so there's some of the stories. Nothing outrageous, not $135 million, but giving back some things of some of their talent that God has given to them. You know, time and time again here at the parish, I always come across different individuals who give back to God, not for recognition, not for any honors or praise, just behind the scenes. And just one case, this happened just this past Tuesday night. We had our board meeting with Visitation House. We have a couple of guys on it. And they were mentioning how when Donna was away, God has blessed them with the ability to work with the hands, to do things, and to reconstruct the kitchen, knock some walls down and fix things up, and sort of spend their weekends doing that. I said, wow, that's pretty giving, give up your Saturday all day. Then they mentioned that they found out Donna was coming back sooner than they thought, and they wanted to have it done before she arrived. And so they said they worked there on Thursday night. I said, all right. Well, how late did you work till? I asked. Oh, they were there till 3 a.m. 3 in the morning? Do you have to work the next day? Yeah. I said, wow. That's a lot. It stuck maybe the whole night. In fact, it stuck maybe the whole week. 3 in the morning. Just giving. No praise, no it just sort of nonchalant, unassuming did it. So we have people like that, and you're one of them too. To give back some of your talent back to God, to be a blessing to others because we are disciples of Christ. I ask the ushers now to hand out those yellow papers back there, please, at this time. And now we have your opportunity, your chance to go for 2. Not to play it safe, but to give back what God has given us, all things that we have, to return the favor. Okay? And we'd like to give that back. Guys, let's go there. And this little sheet you can fill out now and just kind of circle it, if you wouldn't mind. Because God has so blessed us. All right. So after we get the sheet, just put your name, your phone, or your email, and then just find something with, hey, you know something? I can do this. I can give back a little bit. God has so blessed me. I'm going to be in the game, and I'm pretty committed. Thanks, though. Let's quickly. All right. Okay. As you go through that list, the different things I want to highlight, they're all important, but first and foremost, what's on that list is really not a ministry, but it's part of the prayer. It's called the Adoration Chapel, right outside that door there. Open 24/7, 7 days a week, right? And because some people moved away, some have passed away, we're hurting for people to take their place. We need people to step up to give an hour a week in the Adoration Chapel. The Adoration Chapel is a place where you come sit quietly before the Lord in prayer, reading your Bible, saying your rosary, just being with God, where that's 1 hour a week. Because that's the foundation. So like the furnace where things take place. The Adoration Chapel, we need help. We need your help desperately. So please, if you can, 1 hour a week, sign up for that Adoration Chapel. Okay? Get my message? Anyway, so that's one, we need the Adoration Chapel. Other thing didn't make the list is called the sacristan, to help set up the church before Mass and after Mass. We have many Masses, but we just need you to help perhaps one Mass. Would you like to work in God's house, be close to things of God? So we do need a sacristan, so you can write that down. If that's me, hey, I'd like to try that. We'll teach you, we'll help you. We need greeters, and that's one of the easiest jobs. Get here about 15, 20 minutes before church, and you just open the door for someone as they come in, because those doors are awfully heavy, by the way. And just smile, say, welcome to St. Peter's. That's all it takes. It's not that hard. Welcome to St. Peter's. That's it. We need greeters. So please help us. We need each door for each Mass. All right? Now maybe in that sheet of paper you say, you know something, I have these talents that God has blessed me with, but I don't really see how it matches up with what you have here. So then just write down what your talent may be and say, here, I have this talent. If you can use it sometimes, give me a call. I can bake, I can sew, I do plumbing, I'm an electrician, whatever it may be. What those talents may be, put it down. And if you do anything for your community, as your ministry, which is not part of St. Peter's, write that down so we can acknowledge it. I know many of you work at the library, the hospital, coaching Little League, Scouts, whatever it may be. That's also part of your ministry as well, giving back to God. Okay? So you should fill that out, and then when they bring the offertory basket, you can put it in the offertory basket, just fold it up and put it in the offertory basket. All right. I thank you so much. Let's all of us as a church, let's not play it safe. Let's go for 2. Go for the win. Go Giants.